Hello and welcome to Top Table Duels. Thank you so much for joining me today. This video is going to be a ranked best of 3 match. Up here in the blue, we have SaufSportBalance at 12-11, and he is going to be playing a Labrynth deck. And down here in the red, we have Crumb5, Victor Crumboy at 755, and he's going to be playing a Dark World deck. I know how much you guys have been waiting to see more Dark World, especially at a higher competitive level. So let's go ahead and kick this off. So, Sport Balance is going to go first. He's going to activate his Pot of Prosperity, banishing 6 off the top. And he is going to find a Dimensional Barrier, an evenly matched, an Ariana, another Ariana, and another Ariane, as well as an evenly matched. So, I'm sorry, not even, as well as a pot of dualities. What is he going to grab? At this point, you would probably grab the Ariana, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that seems like the best play. All right. Puts those ones back. Normal summons the Ariana. Activate its effect to add himself a Labrynth card to deck. Crumb is going to say, I got nothing for you, man. My hand is all gas, no stop. He grabs Labrynth, and he's going to activate the Pot of Duality. Off the top, he sees 2 Silver Castles as well as a Gozen match. I think Silver Castle might be the best play there, but he does have the Welcome to the Labrynth, so he decides against getting the Silver Castles online extra early. Activates the Labrynth, and sets Welcome Labrynth, sets Trap Trick, sets the Gozen match, and then sets the Barrier. This is an awful time for someone to bust out old Harpies. So, Crumb is going to start off his turn by immediately activating the Allure of Darkness in the beginning of main phase 1. Going to draw 2 and banishes one of his Cerulees. Going to draw 2 more off of another Allure, banish a Nessie. He's going to set the gates, and then he's going to activate Bigfoot. So if his opponent hits the Grapha, the worst possible one, and SaufSportBalance is going to say, I'm going to think on that set. He knows that he's playing Dark World. He knows that on the set he's going to be doing something. So at this point, he's got a thinking match him. So Gozen match isn't going to do much for him here. So he is going to hit the Thunderbird. Special summons Bigfoot. Thunderbird's effect will activate, getting him to target one of the back row. I will say, if you're going to be playing the deck, playing the Dark World deck, I do think the rank 8 variant is the best. Potentially 3 Bigfoot and 2 Danger Thunderbirds. Holy cow, he cannot get a number below 4. But I do think that's the best of those plays because it allows you to really break boards more than anything else. I've seen some even playing 3 Thunderbird, that might be a bit much, but playing 3 and playing 2 and obviously 3 of the Grapha allows you to really break and disrupt boards as you just build your natural combo. Alright, so he's going to select the Trap Trick. He can't really activate Trap Trick there because it would lock him into only playing one of the traps for the rest of the turn, but he does go for it. Okay. He's got to light everything off here. Yeah, so he's got to hit the Gozen match. And he sets the Dogmatica Punishment, special summoning himself out a Lovely Labrynth. Lovely Labrynth will allow him to pick a card out of the hand, and Labrynth will allow him to pop the Danger Bigfoot. He does hit the... Hold on, let me see here. No, is she from the field? If another monster leaves the field because of a trap out, you can destroy one card of your opponent's hand at random or their field. Okay, so so he is. So hold on, that says destroy, right? So let's read the situation real fast because it's always dangerous to be going picking cards out of a Dark World player's hands. It says. You can destroy one. Okay, so it gets destroyed. It's not sent. So that's better than nothing. He's leaving the field spell alone there. Ariana's going to get him the draw. Okay, now it's Crumb was asking if it's open game state again, if he was done resolving everything he had to resolve here. He's going to activate Danger Mothman. The brow will be hit, so it's going to allow him to draw another card as well as the danger draw. So now he's going to get himself another draw off the top here. And he gets himself another Gates. Not the best, but at least he does have the one Gates to turn on. The only downside is, I mean, he's going to have to like banish maybe the brow there. So he can pick off some of this back row. Okay, so on activation, he's gonna on activation of Gates of the Dark World by Crumb, SaufSportBalance is gonna activate his Dogmatica punishment, most likely send in the Intis. Yep, he needs to turn Gates off. Little does he know there's another Gates in hand. So Crumb's gonna activate his next Gates. He's gonna banish his brow, send his Grapha, and so at this point you could probably just hit the other back row, knowing that he can't. Okay, so he's asking what other effects there are. There's no other lingering effects. Both of them have already used their once per turn effects. Labrynth has also used its once per turn effect. I think that's only once per turn, right? Yeah. So both of us already used their once per turn effects. He can't activate another trap card. So he's kind of thinking through his play. So yeah, he's gonna hit the back row. He cannot do that. That is an illegal activation. Cannot activate Dimensional Barrier. He only had one trap left after Trap Trick. After that card resolved, and he already had used that for his Dogmatica punishment. So I hope they catch that. They do not, and I hope that does not ruin what's left of this game. So he normal summons into the Ginta. Yeah, normal summons into the Ginta there. Gets himself more cards to hand. Activates Ginta's effect. Get himself the last Gates of the Dark World. He's going to activate the new Gates of the Dark World, banishing out the Ginta, get himself the Rainbow. I really hope that not being able to go, because going into XC plays for a Dark World deck is how they do all of their significant draws. Not being able to go into Dagaris the Thomas, not being able to go into Coach King will possibly slow Crumb down off of that illegal activation. So he's going to activate Ginta as well as... So yeah, on there you always activate Rainbow 1, Ginta 2, because they're both optional effects. That way you can get your search without worrying about getting Ash Blossomed or just having that effect negated on a win effect. Special summons out the Ginta, adds himself the Silva. It's going to bounce the Ginta into the Rainbow. Activate Danger Chupacabra. It's going to hit the Ginta. Not great. He draws into another Allure. That is not good. So he's just going to have to swing over everything here. So at this point, so yeah, I'm just going to say it doesn't look like it really was going to cause that much impact that he did call XYZ, even though it was an illegal activation. I mean, at best, he was going to maybe go into a Hope Harbinger, but you're not going to go into Hope Harbinger against Labrynth. That's just a silly play. All right, he's reminding SaufSportBalance that they get the plus 300 off of his Gates. But it's also fun is that the all the Labrynths are also Fiends, so they also get the bonus. Now he's going to link 2 to go into his Muckraker from the Underworld. It's going to allow him to ditch 1 to special summon 1. And then he ditches the Silver, gets himself a special summon, brings the Grapha out. I mean, from here, you're locked into Fiends. You could still go into Nightmare Phoenix and try to get rid of Labrynth because it's all Dark Fiends, so Gozu Match is doing absolutely nothing here. That card is not great. He couldn't really go into anything anyways, so without being able to get rid of that. But he could Nightmare Phoenix. I doubt he's probably playing Nightmare Phoenix though. Sets the call by the grave. Now we're gonna pass turn. So. So SaufSportBalance draws an extra card just to see what it would have been because he scoops it up. He's not coming back from that play. So even though the Dark World deck set up no negations, nothing physical that would kill him, it was basically just their ability to play through all that back row. Alright, so SaufSportBalance is going to get to go first. He's going to normal summon the Ariani. Not one we see too often. I think it's lost in favor to Ariana. Basically, you can send one normal trap from your hand or set in your field to the graveyard, special summon level 4 monster from your deck in defense position except her. If another monster leaves the field by a normal trap effect, you can draw 1 card, then apply this effect from your hand, either special summon 1 fiend monster or set 1 spell or trap. So, He's going to activate her effect, discarding the Ledger Book to special summon out the Ariana. Ledger Book, I think, is a good card right now. I think after Photon Nova, that card probably needs to go away. Maybe not. I guess you could kind of keep it and save it until they go into what is it, the mind guy, as well as the Shinaga or whatever her name is, the 3000 booty one that allows him to special summon. So he's going to special summon the Ariana, activate her effect to give himself a Silver Castle to hand. He can special summon the Silver Castle because he has activated a Labrynth. And he says, JK, I meant to get Welcome Labrynth. So ignore what I just said there. And then he is going to Exy over into a Baguska. Then set himself a Rivalry, set himself a Welcome, and a Trap Trick. Okay. Control one type. Okay, so that's the other thing is, I mean, they're all fiends, and I guess he's saying, oh, it's fiend and fiend. I probably would have taken Rivalry out. Yeah, it slows the combo line down, but ultimately, you know, they're going to be able to play ways to get around your back row. Especially going into game 2, this deck draws so much, and I'm hoping that Crumb put in back row hate, because that's probably what you should do. So he's going to activate, Crumb's going to start his turn, activate Ginta, discarding it to get himself a Gates of the Dark World, activate Gates of the Dark World effect, banishing the Ginta, and sending the Snow, the Unlight of the Dark World. So now he can chain his effects here. So it's going to be probably Snow 1, Ginta 2. Okay, gets himself the Grapha to hand. Interesting grab off of that. Okay, no, never mind. It's not interesting at all. He wants to activate the other one so he can get the Grapha in the graveyard. So on the second activation, now SaufSportBalance really has something he has to think about here, because he needs to get rid of that ability, because he knows he's gonna lose a back row no matter what. So he preemptively lights off the Welcome Labrynth. So he's gonna get himself another Ariana. So he grabs Silver Castle here. Activates Silver Castle's effect on Resolution. And then activates Trap Trick. He's going to set his Dogmatic Punishment. Activate Dogmatic Punishment. Hitting the Ginta, hitting the gates. He still needs to resolve Silver Castle. Oh, he's not going to resolve. Hold on, let's check this. You can only use each of the following effects. When a normal trap card is activated, you can set one normal trap card with a different name directly from the deck. So he did not activate that. He allows the allure to happen. So at that point, it's over. And he draws yet into a third allure. So I will say, if you guys are going to be playing Dark Worlds, and he's a very high ranked player, and so he's probably tested this a lot. Every time I had a lure in this deck, I didn't like it. It was just, I prefer to have other cards. Oh, yep. Crumb just realized, hey, you can't activate their effects. Number 41, Baguska, is stopping you. That's a good point. Okay, so he's going to activate the third allure of the turn. So he banishes out a Snow in hand. So he does have one. Snow obviously is one of your most vital resources, and he's only got one left. He's going to activate Danger Mothman. It's going to hit the Snow. He's going to special summon and then draw into himself another Ginta. So here now having the Dark World Accession is a big one for him. I think the Ginta, so we were saying 3 Dark Worlds last time. So he's gonna say that's okay. I don't know why. He says you have an insect, and he said, but it's in the chain link. Oh yeah, no, I guess because the dangers. So now they're asking the question here, but I think he is correct. So SaufSportBalance is correct on this one. Because he activated Dark World Accession and then he chained Rivalry of Warlords. So as the chain link resolves, Rivalry will now be in place, which means that it has to be an insect. So But the good part here is he can actually just activate Dark World Session, ditch the Grapha's effect, pop the number 41. Okay, so he's not going to pop the number 41. He's going to say, I'm going to pop. So I think SaufSportBalance was just doing it preemptively. He's going to pop the Rivalry. Then he'll activate Danger Nessie. It hits Dark World Session, so it means he's not going to be able to get into the fusion this turn. Activates another Nessie. So he's not activating the Genta, which makes me think he sided out of one of his gates. Oh, that is not a good hand. You hate to see that. He's going to have to go into Muckraker here. Yeah. Activates Muckraker effect. Brings the snow. Activates the rainbow effect to get himself a Grapha. Bounces the snow to special summon out the rainbow. He's locked into Fiends here. And then bounces the rainbow for the Grapha. So, yeah, looking at he's not playing any of the Nightmares because that would definitely be a way out of this is the Nightmare engine. But he doesn't have it, so he just has to pass turn. Baguska forgot to detach there. But there we go. He remembered it right before he goes in. So he goes into battle phase. Ariana swings into the Muckraker. Muckraker can activate her effect, but I doubt she's going to. Swings over the Grapha with the Baguska. And then Tribute summons for Silver Castle. Interesting play line there. And then activates her effect to set the Dogmatic of Punishment as well as the Dimensional Barrier. Okay, so Crumb now goes into turn. He draws Drag to the grave, but you can't activate that effect if your opponent doesn't have a hand. Then he's going to activate the Dark World Accession in Graveyard, ditching the Grapha Drain the Dark World. Grapha's effect. Pops the Dimensional Barrier. Dimensional Barrier will activate. He calls Exy, and then this will be met by a Fusion. He needs to banish one of the Graphas. He just discarded one. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he's saying you still need to banish that. Okay. So, perfect. So at this point, I mean, it doesn't really... the discard effect for Hand Loop off Silva doesn't really matter, but he still has Rainbow's discard effect, which allows him to get back one of his banished as well. Right? You did a card effect, you special one from deck graveyard, yeah. Or deck or graveyard, right? Yeah. So... he tries to normal summon. I'm confused at how he's summoning that. Did I miss something? Did he tribute? Oh, maybe he did. Oh, okay. So he tribute summons. So he's going to activate his Dogmatic of Punishment. That's going to be met with Graph activating its effect to negate the activation. Okay, so Sauf saying you cannot respond. Your opponent cannot activate monster effect until the activation of normal trap cards. Yep, so Lovely stops him from responding. So Entis targets Grapha, but Grapha is going to get its ability, and hold on, yeah. And then discard to grab him, activate the Snow's effect. Snow will do Adam Brow, but it's not enough to get over Old Lovely. Sauf is going to go into his turn, crash over the Grapha, and then he will activate the Welcome Labrynth in battle phase. Special summon himself out of an Ariana. Ariana will activate her effect, getting himself most likely a Silver Castle, so he can start pushing for real damage here. Just kidding. She comes out in defense position. Alright, so Silver Castle will activate her effect. You can destroy one card of your opponent's hand. Okay. What's he activating there? You can use each of the effects on the returns. You can target one normal spell trap card, set it to your field, but it cannot be activated unless you control a fiend monster. Okay. and then he will set the trap trick. He gets another drag down to the grave. So I do like drag down to the grave. I didn't really think about that card. It gives you hand knowledge, which is really good. So it's interesting here he doesn't light off drag down to the grave. I guess he could hit the Danger Chupacabra. So he's going to activate Danger Chupacabra. That's going to be met with a Dimension Shifter. And then he's going to have to pass turn. Yeah, he says that's a good card. Yeah, Konami, just go ahead and get rid of Dimension Shifter. I mean, I get that Tiamat is a bad boo-boo deck, but Tiamat don't give two darns about Dimension Shifter. They go into Bagooska, pass turn, and then just, you know, proceed to kill you the next turn. So let's get rid of Dimension Shifter. It's a silly card, no room for him. Alright, so SaufSportBalance is going to draw 2 traps and nothing else good, so he's going to have to pass turn. And at this point, Crumb is going to set his Gates of the Dark World, activate his Drag down into the grave. And at this point, he says, I'm calling Exy to stop you from playing. And then he's going to chain the Lady Labrynth. You have a normal trap card with activating turn. You can special summon her. He says it's not in the same chain. So it says, so let's read it. If a Labrynth card or normal effect card was activated this turn, except Labrynth, you can special summon this card from your hand defense position. So it technically was activated already. It doesn't say it needs to resolve, so it can be done in the same chain. So he's basically Crumb's saying it works like Fenrir, but Fenrir is a quick effect, and so is Silver Castle. And they're gonna talk about it for a while. Yeah. So then you realize what's happening. Yeah. So Crumb was actually wrong. Crumb is wrong on that one. SaufSportBalance was right. Because it is a quick effect and just has activated, the activation happens when you activate it. So he's basically just saying that it can be chained to the activation because it has been activated. If it said if a trap card, you know, has resolved this turn, then that would be different. So now Crumb is going to continue his turn, activating his Danger Mothman, discarding the Grapha. Grapha's going to hit the back row. Back row is going to hit the Ledger Book to banish it, and now Lady Labrynth is going to get her effect to set a Welcome Labrynth. And then Crumb will activate his Gates of the Dark World. Gates of the Dark World will banish out a Rainbow and then ditch the Silver. He does draw into a Grapha. Silver's effect will special summon itself. And then he'll activate Ginta's effect to get himself a Gates of the Dark World. Yes, I don't think... Yeah, so he hasn't used Ginta's effect yet. He is locked out of Exy summoning, though. So now Crumb will activate a new Gates of the Dark World to search off the Ginta. Banishing the Ginta. Discarding the Rainbow. This is Bow and Ginta. Grabs himself another Grapha. Activates Danger Tsukinoko. Tsukinoko gets missed. He hits the Grapha, special himself, draws into a Danger Jackalope, and now Grapha is going to hit the new back row. He asks if he can use it. No, so that would be super broken if the Labyrinths allowed them to use the set trap cards that turn. Luckily, Konami didn't do something that silly. So now Crumb is going to special summon out 2 of his Graphas, getting as much to hand as possible to make sure that Danger Jackalope is safe. Hits the rainbows, gets the Jackalope, draws into a card destruction. He knows his opponent doesn't have anything good in hand except for the one unknown. But knowing the Labyrinth deck doesn't have anything special that's bad in the hand, that's actually a good side card in because it allows him to trigger multiple effects. Yep, he's going to light up the card destruction here. So I think Sauf is about to quit here. He's drawing way more than he should. Okay, so that does allow him to get the Grapha effect to pop, and at which point he can link off and then go in and attack for game. So overall, a good match by both players. A couple of weird plays, definitely an illegal activation on the dimensional barrier in that first game, but overall it didn't decide the outcome of the game. It was over at that point. But always remember, Trap Trick, you can only activate 1 more for the rest of the turn. So, thank you so much for watching, guys. And if you want to watch a specific video or deck, just let me know in the comments below. As always, please like and subscribe. It goes a long ways for me, and I will catch y'all next time.
Thank you for watching. Try some of these other great duels. If you like what you saw, give us a like and subscribe.